create some new window types that match the width and the height of these walls here. So again, if I use under my annotation ribbon, under align dimension or DI on the keyboard, I can now dimension the rough openings of my my window here. So I know I've got two windows here at 1280 by 890. So what we want to do is we want to create a window that's of 1280 high by 890 wide. We want to place it in our wall. Now, last week we chatted about the idea of creating this continuous wall here, and then when we were going to create a window, that window would then cut a hole in that wall, as opposed to sort of stopping our wall short and sort of leaving an opening there. So we always want a continuous wall, and we're going to model a window into that wall. So I can place a window either in floor plan, elevation, or in 3D view. But again, like our other build tools, under our architecture ribbon, under the build tab, or WN on the keyboard, click on window. Now, if I go over to my properties family type dialog box, if I click on the drop down menu of my family here, you'll notice these are all the windows that I have loaded into my project already. So we have two windows, and we have a bunch of different types of those windows. However, if I didn't have any windows loaded into my project, if I clicked on load family, and then I navigated to it should automatically bring you to your Revit 2020 Libraries Australia folder. Then if I navigated to my Windows folder, these are all the windows that came with Revit that we can then load into our project. And note that because I'm in my window tool, I can only load in a family that is of a window type. If I were to then for example, trying to load in a door into my window tool, it'll return a little error message. But that's fine, we already have the window in here that we need. So I'm going to change, we're going to use the window, the very top window up here, fixed -1L Australia, and I'm going to click on this 0810 one here. Now, whether you're in 3D view, elevation view, or plan view, you'll notice that now I'm hovering around my wall here, a window is being displayed for me. If I hover over a portion of my screen that doesn't have a wall, I won't see a window, and the reason is that I need to host a window into a wall. And you'll notice even if I map around my building here, I can place a window anywhere along my walls here. So I'm going to create one window, or I can create as many windows as I want. I can place them wherever I want. Then if I click on that window in elevation or 3D view, I can nudge it up or down, left or right. But I'm going to delete these other two windows. We're going to use one window, we're going to reposition it in elevation, and then we're going to learn how to create a new window in terms of creating a window that matches the height and the width of our example window here. So if I go back to my elevation view, my elevation east, if I click on that window that I've just created, if I click on edit type, like we do with most things in Revit, to create a new family type, we basically take something that's already been created for us, and we duplicate that type, and we change the parameters of that type. So we want to create a new window that's 1280 by 890. So I'm going to click on my window, click on edit type, click on duplicate, and I'm going to rename it to 1280 by 890. 890 millimeters. So now here, our width here, we want to change our width to 890, our height to 1280, and then I want to hit OK. You'll notice how my window grew and expanded then, which is good, it's what we want. So we're creating a new window here, basically in the same way that we created a new wall and a new floor and a new roof last time. Simply, I've just added a new type of window to this the already quite a few types that we have generated here. So we have 2 window families, and then within those window families there are a number of family types. So we've just created a new type. So now that I've clicked on my window here, what I want to do is I'm going to turn on my thin lines tool. I'm going to click on my window. I'm going to type MV on the keyboard to move. And then I'm going to try and click on the outermost point of my building here. And you'll notice I'm only able to snap to this point here. And the reason being is that this portion of my window is representing basically the portion of the window that's projecting in the background on an angle, because our wall's on an angle and our elevations are orthogonal, they're not parallel to our walls. So I'm going to find the whatever point I can snap to there, being my little, and you know you snap to an endpoint when you have a magenta box. And make sure you turn on your thin line tools, guys, or TL on the keyboard. Otherwise you're going to get these big thick lines and it's going to be hard to work with. So I'm going to click on my endpoint. I'm going to make sure I don't have constraint checked. If I had constraint checked, it would mean that I could only go left or right or up and down. If I have constraint unchecked, I can go diagonal or wherever I like. And then I'm just going to roughly position it in the sort of top left-hand corner of my reference CAD plan here. Now I've done that, I can simply click on my window, use the copy tool or CO on the keyboard, click on my uppermost left point again in my window, make sure multiple's checked. Well, you don't have to have multiple checked, but if you have multiple checked, it means that I can copy 10, 20 versions of this window if I want. If I have multiple unchecked, it will only allow me to copy one at a time. And again, I'm going to click on the upper left corner of my reference CAD plan here. So now if I go back to my 3D view, I should have a bunch of windows in my walls here, which is good. So yeah, and basically, like many things in Revit, you'll be using that edit type and duplicate family type tool a lot. So we've taken a window that we already had existing in our project, and we just created a new type of that window, which is matching the sort of rough width and height of our reference underlay plans that we have there. And again, I could even go to 3D view, I can click on my window, I can even use my arrow keys to up, down, left, right to reposition my my window there, or I can come into my elevation tool and be more accurate and use my move tool, or even use my line tool to move it to some known reference points. So yeah.
It's not snapping into a corner or got the magenta box.